Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Aimee here. Today I have some spooky season recommendations for you. This will be part one because I have more shelves. I've only went through my book of the month shelf, so this is like book of the month version, if you will. But I have so many other books on these shelves over here that are super spooky and perfect for spooky season. I also will talk about some in a later video that I have not read yet and I want to read for spooky season. So let the spooky season begin with spooky books. I only have 7 here for today because, like I said, I just went through the one bookshelf, my book of the month bookshelf, and these are older reads, so you may have already read them. I just wanted to put it out there for, you know, just in case. You never know. Or if you want to do a reread for spooky season, that's always an idea. In no particular order at all, although I will tell you if these are my favorite of all time spooky type of books or just books in general. Oh my goodness. Mimi is once again behind the camera. My trouble child. We'll start with The Push. And this is by Ashley Audrain. You may not think of this as a spooky read, but there's a child in this book demon child. Let's just call her demon child. So we follow Blythe, a woman named Blythe, and her husband, and from what I can remember, I don't think Blythe really wanted to be a mother just because she did not have the best mother experience with her mother, and her females, the females in her family tend to not be good mothers. So she was just afraid of having a child in general just because she did not think she would be a good mother at all. She turns up pregnant and she is determined to be a better mother than her mother was, until the child pretty much turns on her. From almost like from birth, just this child was a dark essence in Blythe's life and almost did anything and everything to make Blythe look bad, or even try to harm her mother. The child tried to harm her mother. It's crazy, it's dark. It's not necessarily spooky, but it can't, in my opinion, I thought it could get a little creepy at times just because of the child in the story. We're dealing with a child that has a mind, like just this mischievous mind of lashing out at her mother. And of course she loves her father. She loves and adores her father. So she's like this angel child when her father is around, and the mother tries to tell the father the things that the child is doing, and he's like, what? No way. And then when it's just Blythe and the child together, the child turns into a devil. It's like angel and devil sort of situation. But yeah, I thought it could get pretty creepy and dark at times, and honestly I really didn't expect to like this book because I wouldn't call it, I guess it could be characterized as a thriller. It was very unexpected. I didn't think I would like it, and I kind of saw it floating around Book Talk in the earlier days. Let me see when this was published. It says copyright 2021. So a few years back on this one. I don't see a lot of this book floating around, although I have recently seen a little bit of it on Book Talk, and it kind of reminded me of it, and I was like, oh yeah, that could definitely be a creepy story. I did also give this book 5 stars when I did read it. I also listened to it, and the narration it's phenomenal. I highly recommend the audiobook if you can. Next up, probably my favorite, my second favorite Alice Feeney book. This is Rock, Paper, Scissors. First of all, the scenes, the setup of this book is creepy. It's snowy, it's isolated. Something's happening around them that they don't know quite what it is. I don't want to say like paranormal aspect, because I don't really think that's what it was, but there's something happening around them that they don't really understand or know what's going on. So we actually follow a couple, Adam and Amelia. I knew it was kind of like their names were kind of like similar, and they go off to like this cabin to work on their marriage. And this cabin is a renovated church, which is kind of spooky in itself. And then we're also following some love letters that it seems that Adam is writing to his wife. There's a lot of things going on in this book. I don't want to give too much away. So many things happened in this book as we come to a close, as we come to the end of it. But I had a great time with it. I really enjoyed it. I have some, I'm curious to see what I marked here. We'll have to go check that out. But yeah, I gave this 5 stars. Yes, I gave it 5 stars. Another 5-star read for me. Like I said, I think this is my second favorite Alice Feeney. My absolute favorite Alice Feeney will have to be His and Hers. I absolutely love that one. It's not necessarily creepy or spooky. It's just a great thriller. Anyway, I did listen to this one on audio. Highly recommend the audio. We get like a dual narration. So we have a voice for Amelia and a voice for Adam, because we get the point of view from both of them. I really enjoyed it. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend the audio if you can. Let me see what I marked in here. I don't know what I might have marked here, because I just marked the page. I didn't mark anything in particular. I don't know. I have no clue. I should have highlighted it. But anyway, I really enjoyed this one, and it does have some great spooky moments, or just a spooky vibe in general. Okay, now this next one, hear me out. Not everybody loves this book. I loved it. It's one of my absolute all-time favorite thrillers, and not everybody will probably think that it's spooky in their opinion. I find our character really spooky and creepy, and just how she moves about as she's telling us her story, and just the story in general as it comes to a close, as we come to an end and we start to realize what's actually happening. Absolutely love it. The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. Okay, problem child, y'all. Problem child. Back to The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. So we follow Anna. I highly recommend it. So this, like I said, this is a very unpopular opinion. Oh my goodness. Not everyone loves this book. And I can see probably you like maybe physically reading it. Although I physically read it and I listened to the audio, and I loved both. Although once I read the audio, I absolutely adored the audio. So I highly recommend the audio if you can for this one, because Anna's character, the narrator just brought out Anna's character and just made, like, you can actually see her character and feel how she's feeling, and like this narrator was Anna. Like it was phenomenal, y'all. I'm telling you. I like I said, it's a very unpopular opinion. I feel like I'm the only one in the world that loves this book. So anyway, Anna Fox, she lives alone in New York City in her apartment. She has a husband and a child that she talks to in this book. But Anna has a phobia. It's a phobia of going outside into the world. I keep wanting to say arachnophobia, but that's not what it is, because that's the fear of spiders. Okay, it's agoraphobia, which is the fear of going outside into the world. So she's like almost like confined to her apartment just by fear. And there's a reason she is like this. She used to be like a well-known doctor. I want to say she was a psychologist, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't have it in like in my notes on Goodreads. She's a big drinker. She drinks a lot of Merlot. She pops pills. She has a camera that she looks out of the window. She seems to think there's something going on in the house across from hers. I think she lives like on, it's New York, so it's like a brownstones. So across the street in another home, she sees things. People think that she's crazy and they like don't believe her, basically. But she's, so like I said, she's living alone in this home, and like I said, she has a husband, has a child, but she's in this home working on herself, basically. Like, she's not really fit to take care of her family. It's hard to explain this book, but Anna is a fantastic character. I fell in love with her from the very beginning. I kind of laughed throughout this book, but once you get to the ending and you realize what's happening and what happened to Anna to cause this PTSD or cause this agoraphobia, if you will. Mimi! Oh my gosh, y'all. She's like blinding everywhere. Anyway, absolute favorite book of all time. Not necessarily creepy or spooky, but in my own opinion, I found that it could get there. Because Anna, this character, is isolating herself from the world, and things are happening around her, and you can feel the fear that she's feeling, and she doesn't know what to do about it because she cannot go outside. Like a true fear of going outside, and she cannot do it. I absolutely loved it. One of my all-time favorite reads. I think about it all the time. I read the book when it first came out, so let's see what year. 2018, when this was released. And I still think about it. It is still probably one of my all-time favorite books. And I know that is a very unpopular opinion, but there it is. Next, we have The Whisper Man by Alex North. This is not necessarily one of my favorite reads. And actually, after I read this one, as far as thrillers go, The Shadows is probably a better read than even this one. But this one has a very creepy vibe that had me like second guessing myself. Like, is my door locked? Did I leave some lights on? That kind of feeling. Now, I have in my notes, I don't remember a lot about this book. I gave it 4 stars. I do remember feeling creeped out though, because like there's a whisper man about. This is a story about, there was a man years ago, I probably have it in my notes somewhere, but he would like whisper at the windows of children to come outside or let him in or something like that. It was very creepy aspect to the story. But we do follow several characters. I have in my notes that we follow Jake, who is a young boy that lost his mother, and we have Tom, who is Jake's father. So we have a single dad here with his son. Then we also follow some detectives, Pete and Amanda, and of course the Whisper Man. So yeah, okay, so it was 20 years ago. So Tom and Jake, I'm getting those names correct? Yes, Tom and Jake moved to this little small town just to start over after Jake loses his mother, Tom loses his wife. But they moved to this town where there was a very popular, like, serial abductor, I guess, called the Whisper Man. Now, so say he is been caught and is in prison. Yes. But he would whisper, like I said, he would whisper at the windows of these children and lure them outside and abduct them. And now it seems that the past is repeating itself. So y'all, I can't with this cat. So now, currently, what's happening? Do we have a copycat? Because we know the guy is currently in prison. What is happening? So that's basically what this book is about. Like I said, I gave it 4 stars. And it does just have a very creepy vibe to it. Just the whispering and yeah, and just the creepiness of at night and hearing things. Like I said, I was always like thinking to myself, while reading this, did I lock the door? Next up, I have a Riley Sager. You can probably tell by the back of the cover what it is. It's Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. I will be doing a video very soon ranking my Riley Sagers, because I saw this is a very popular thing going around on Book Talk of people like ranking their Riley Sager books. So I thought that was very fun and I want to do it myself. So I will be doing that. That's going to be coming up. But yeah, this to me is the spookiest of all Riley Sager's books. Now we do have Lock Every Door that kind of had a little bit of a creepy, almost paranormal aspect to it. But if I had to choose one, I almost put both of them in this lineup, but I was like, no, let me just choose one, because this one is the creepiest. And I also might be an unpopular opinion. This is one of my favorite thrillers. Not of all time, but just one of my favorite thrillers. Not sure where it ranks on my Riley Sager scale. I'll have to figure that out, but this was very creepy in my opinion. Okay, so we follow Maggie. Maggie is the daughter of, what is, Ewan Holt? Ewan and Jess Holt. Ewan? Not sure how to say his name. But anyway, this kind of, stepping back a little bit, this is very much Amityville vibes going on here, because we move into this like home, him and his family move into this home, and creepy things just start to happen. So he writes a book about it years later. House of Horrors is his book, and it becomes very popular. After his death, he leaves the home. They were never able to sell the home. They only stayed in the home for like 20 days, and then they fled. And then he writes a book about their encounters, and he became very famous about it. Then we have grown-up Maggie, who is now like a home renovator. Like she buys home, renovates them, and sells them kind of thing. She is left with this home, and she goes back to it, and thinking, she's a skeptic now. She doesn't really believe all of that, so she's going to go into this home, renovate it, and try to sell it. But when she gets there, weird things start to happen, and now she's second guessing herself. She's not so sure that this house is not haunted. What I loved mostly about this book is that we get a book within a book. So we go back and forth between Maggie's experiences while she's in the house trying to renovate it, and then also at the same time what's happening those 25 years, was it 25 years? Yes, 25 years ago, as we read from her father's book, what's happening in the house as things are happening to Maggie while she's in the house. And of course she's staying there at night. This may be a very unpopular opinion. I don't really know. I don't see Home Before Dark floating around a lot, although I have seen it recently on Book Talk that people are just reading it. But I really enjoyed it. Let's see when it came out. 2020 is the copyright date. So yeah, so about 5 years ago this came out, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was one of Riley Sager's creepiest and most sort of haunted story to this day, honestly. I have 2 left, but I am actually going to save one for last because it is one of my all-time. Next to AJ Finn's Woman in the Window, this is another of my all-time favorite reads that I, to this day, can't stop thinking about. But also this one by Ruth Ware. This is The Turn of the Key. This one was published in 2019, so a couple years ago. In this one, we follow a young woman, a nanny, who takes a job to watch over this couple's children, and in their home. These children are not the most disciplined children either. They're kind of evil within themselves. But anyway, she goes to stay, so the home that she's staying in, so she's gonna have a place to stay while she is the nanny there. But the home is a smart home. So the couple that lived there, they renovated it into a smart home. So, and you operate all the things through this app. It's very interesting to read about, but then it's also very scary because all these smart features don't always go well. They're not always the best things to happen. They're not always foolproof, you know, like things can happen. You know, you might think you locked the door, but the house is unlocking the door if something happens. It's a lot of little like creepy aspects to this book. Probably one of my favorite Ruth Ware books is The Turn of the Key. Another very interesting aspect to this book. So our main character is Rowan. She is the nanny to the 4 children for this couple, but we're getting letters to herself. No, to her lawyer. I'm sorry, to her lawyer. And so the book is told through her point of view, through these letters to her lawyer. There's a connection with her and the couple that she's nannying for, and her story leads into what actually happened, what's going on, what went on in the house. But throughout the story is just a lot of creepiness happening. Things are going bump in the night, if you will. Is it the house? Like I said, this smart house is not foolproof, so there's things going wrong with the smart house that she doesn't understand. It's kind of all over the place. It's very lengthy, but and when I say lengthy, there's a lot of like description of the house and what's happening. But I enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. And last but not least, probably one of my absolute favorite spooky reads of all time so far. It's The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. Simone St. James is known for sort of her spooky paranormal aspect that she adds to her thrilling stories. And this one is my favorite one. We have a motel where a woman went missing back in 1987. And then we have current time. We have this young woman's niece that is determined to find out what happened to her aunt. She was never found. A body was never found. So she kind of goes back and backtracks, steps into her aunt's world, and starts taking the same path that she did to find out what could have happened. So she goes to this sundown motel where some creepy and disturbing things are taking place. But the vibe of this book was really super creepy in my opinion. So those are my first top 7 spooky recommendations for the spooky season reads. Let me know in the comments, have you read any of these, or are you going to put them on your spooky season TBR? Let me know in the comments. I will be having some more recommendations coming your way, so stay tuned for that. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all very soon in a new video. Bye y'all.